The wind screamed across the desert like a wounded spirit, rolling dust over the abandoned trail as the sun dipped blood-red behind broken mesas. Lone rancher Elias Ward tugged his worn coat tighter around his shoulders, squinting at someone, blocking the road ahead. She towered above the horizon, first as a silhouette, then as a shadow, then as a giant of a woman, tall, powerful, carved from the same stone as the mountains themselves. Her braids swung at her waist, her shoulders broad under a wolf-skin cloak. The Apache people called her Sakara, though the whites had given her another name, the Giant of the Red Cliffs. Her eyes, deep, amber, and sharp as obsidian, locked onto Elias with purpose. "You will help me," she said, voice low, unwavering. "Whether you fear me or not." That was the moment Elias realized his quiet, solitary life would never be the same again. The demand. Elias kept his hand near his rifle, though he didn't lift it. "And why," he said steadily, "would I help a stranger who blocks my road?" Sakara stepped forward. Dust shifted under her boots. She held out her arm, and only then did Elias see the deep gash, dried blood blackened around torn flesh. "I am no stranger," she said. "Your father saved my mother when I was a child. She told me if ever I faced death, I must seek the wards of Dustkeep Ranch. Now, here I am." Elias's breath caught. His father had died years ago. Elias had believed all his quiet deeds died with him. Apparently, they hadn't. The wounded giant. Sakara swayed slightly. "You're hurt," Elias said. "I rode 3 days," she murmured. "No water for the last one." She collapsed. Elias barely caught her before she hit the ground. She weighed as much as a fallen tree. Her eyes fluttered shut, her breathing shallow. Every instinct screamed for him to leave her. The world was dangerous, alliances fragile. Helping an Apache, especially her, could get a rancher killed by either side. But then he remembered his father's voice. "Son, you never leave a wounded soul behind, not human, horse, or enemy." Elias lifted her onto his horse. He made his choice. The days of healing. At Dustkeep Ranch, Sakara slowly recovered. Even wounded, she was a presence that filled the room, her strength almost unnerving. But her silence, that was what gnawed at Elias. For days she spoke little. Until one night. "Elias Ward," she said quietly as he checked her bandage. "My village was raided." His hands froze. "Who?" She swallowed hard. "Renegade white hunters. They killed my brother. They took children, my sister among them." A tremor shook her voice for the first time. "I cannot face them alone." She lifted her eyes to his. "You will ride with me." It wasn't a question. It was a plea hidden inside pride. The journey through danger. The two set out at dawn, riding across harsh desert, jagged cliffs, and winding arroyos. Along the way, their differences clashed and pulled at each other. Sakara was disciplined, fierce, proud. Elias was calm, cautious, a man of quiet strength. But every night at the campfire, their walls chipped away. She told him of childhood memories of his father bringing food to starving Apache families, despite being warned not to. He told her of losing his father, his mother, and the loneliness that had hollowed a quiet ache inside him for years. In shared silence, trust formed. Slowly, carefully, authentically. But trust would soon be tested. The Raiders' Canyon. They found the renegades, camp hidden deep in Splitjaw Canyon. There were 6 of them, armed, cruel, celebrating by firelight. Children, including her little sister Nara, were tied inside a wagon. Sakara's breath turned to fire. "I go in first," she whispered. Elias grabbed her arm. "You'll get yourself killed. I would die for my sister. And I won't let you." For the first time, she didn't pull away. Together, they crafted a plan. Elias circled around to cut the wagon ropes while Sakara drew the raiders' attention. But plans never survived the first shot. A gun cracked the night. Sakara roared, charging like a storm unleashed. Elias sprinted toward the wagon. Then he heard her scream. The fall of the giant. A raider had struck Sakara with the butt of his rifle, knocking her to her knees. Another aimed a gun at her heart. Elias didn't think. He acted. His rifle thundered. The raider fell. Sakara looked at him, shock, gratitude, and something deeper all burning in her gaze. The fight exploded around them. Sakara fought with the strength of 10 warriors. Elias fought like a man with everything to lose. By dawn, the canyon was silent. The raiders were gone, one way or another. The children were safe. Sakara found Nara and fell to her knees, clutching her, trembling not with fear but with overwhelming relief. Elias watched quietly, the sun rising behind them, painting the canyon gold. What follows victory? When it was done, Sakara approached Elias. You fought beside me, she said. Not for glory. Not for reward. For what was right. Her voice softened despite her towering presence. You carry your father's spirit. Elias nodded. And you carry your people's. She stepped closer, their shadows merging. You will not return to your ranch alone. Elias blinked. Sakara, you are part of this story now, she whispered. Part of my family's survival. Part of my sister's future. And, if you choose it, part of mine. Her words were bold, honest, vulnerable, not a demand, but an invitation. The desert wind stirred as if holding its breath. The inspiring ending. Weeks later, Elias helped escort the rescued children back to safer lands. He worked side by side with the Apache, earning their respect, forging bonds his father once dreamed of. Sakara often walked beside him, no longer the giant who confronted him on the road, but the woman who trusted him with her people, her family, and her future. When the time came for their paths to diverge, she placed a hand firmly on his chest. Elias Ward, she said, eyes softening, this world breaks easily. But when we stand together, we do not. He covered her hand with his own. Then let's keep standing together. And so they did, two unlikely souls bound not by fear or force, but by courage, sacrifice, and the rarest thing in the Wild West. A partnership born of honor.